Hello everyone. This lesson is going to teach you how to use Microsoft Excel to analyze some time series data. I've collected here some atmospheric carbon dioxide measurements from the Mauna Loa Observatory in Hawaii, and I have an average value for each here from 1960 to 2025. Then I have the reading here, the CO2 level in parts per million, and the uncertainty of this Y value. So the times here will be the X values and the CO2 levels will be the Y values. We begin by highlighting the data, and then on the ribbon, I click on the Insert tab, I come to Charts. I'm going to use a scatter chart, and I just want this one here, which is a series of marker dots with no connecting lines. Now we've got a great deal of blank space here between 0 and 300. We don't need all that. So I will do a right click on the y-axis numbers. It brings up this menu where I can format the thing I clicked, the y-axis. Now I don't want a minimum 0. I'll put 300 for that. We can see the change already. Now it's decided for itself to jump up in steps of 20. That's probably okay, but I think I prefer stepping up in steps of 50. Maybe that's a bit too much. Perhaps steps of 10. Let's see how that goes. No, I don't like that either. Perhaps I should have just stayed with 20 the way it was. That'll do. Now I don't want to have minor steps of 4. That seems weird. I'll go in steps of 5. And then that doesn't really change anything because that's the little steps between each of these numbers. When I come down to this one that says tick marks, I have major tick marks. That's the ones where the numbers are. The minor tick marks are these ones in between. So I think I'll have those. I'll put a cross for them. So those little lines there going across represent steps of 5. Now, as far as the numbers down the bottom, these are the years. We started in 1960, we finished in 2025. It's got a little bit of white space at the edge, but I don't mind that. That's okay. I suppose I could right click here to format the x-axis, and I could put that one to 1960 so that the data values start on the y-axis, and then we're up to 2025. Again, we're going up in steps of 10. That's okay. I will have some minor tick marks as well across the bottom there, just to make it look a bit nicer. Now, I do want to change the way these dots appear. So I've just done a left click on the dots there, that's the data series, and it's in the format pane is open on the right hand side. So it's switched to be the formatting choices for the data series. Now, the one I really want is this one that looks like a bucket of paint. It's the way it appears. It's the appearance, the decoration. I have no line selected. That's good. Let me open up the one about the markers and the marker options. It defaults to an automatic bullet point. I'm going to select my own marker, and I'd like it to be one of these X's because I think it's a bit cleaner looking. That's pretty good. Now, the chart title, we probably should call this something a bit more suitable, like CO2, whoops, typing it, CO2 levels, and this is from Mauna Loa. That's good. Now, I would like to have titles on the X and Y axis, so we do that with the plus sign and this choice axis titles. So the vertical one is highlighted, and this is the CO2 concentration. And the units for that are parts per million. ppm is the abbreviation. The axis title down here is the time in years. So we'll just write year. And that's looking pretty good. And that's a reasonably presentable scatter chart for visualizing the data there from that table. Now, the next thing you want to do is start doing models and so forth. But I think at this point, we've probably done enough for the first installment, and we've got a reasonable visual depiction of the data from our project. Thanks for watching.